Peace and good morning to you. I hear like an echo or something. I don't know. Um, yeah. Peace. Good morning to you. Like always, we're always going to start, of course, open in a spirit of gratitude, like always. So as you come in, I greet you and I say good morning, in hopes that you say good morning in return, because it's only right. It only makes sense, especially if I can get up early and come here just to exercise my gift, exercise my purpose, and put myself in the place to where I can be either a vessel or an asset to someone else in a very selfless way, in a very selfless perspective. So if I can say good morning to you, you can say good morning to me. I'm just saying. All right, today is November the 16th. I hate when I have to look down, but sometimes, hey, that's all I got. Today is November the 16th. It is Wednesday, hump day to some, Wednesday to others. It is Wednesday, so again, like always, we start in the spirit of gratitude. So thank you for everybody that's listening right now, or watching, I should say, watching right now on the Facebook platform, whether you're in the Facebook group or you're watching it on the Consistency is Currency Facebook page. And those that are listening to it on the replay, on the podcast distribution, whether it is iHeartRadio, whether it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast, Podbean. Did I say iHeartRadio? I don't know. Probably did. iHeartRadio. You know, you get old, you just start forgetting stuff and think you said stuff, but you didn't. Um, Great day to you as well, Miss Queenie. Um, so yesterday, I received some messages from yesterday, and it was very good message. That was like, you spoke to me about um fear of success. And this is for creatives. This is why you do what you do, to be an asset to someone else or to someone's life. So for all that message said thank you, I say you're welcome in an open and open forum. So I appreciate you for just saying uh the things that resonate with you, and just being able to be that person or that being or that vase that's able to pour in to those, and those thank yous and those I appreciate yous actually pour back into me, as I have the ability to pour back out um, today. So I thank you like always. All right, so I gotta ease on down the road today, so I can't be on long because I gotta drive to make for an interview um, with this organization down in Cedar Park area. So let's get into it. How was your week so far? If you're having a good week, put good, put an emoji, whatever it is, put that in the chat just so we can, build this digital dialogue and blah blah blah. So though the title today is very interesting. Like, as I was listening to things today, and this person said, "Don't miss the moment," and I was like, "Ooh, like how many times have we missed the moment? How many times have we not paid attention when we were in the moment? And because we didn't pay attention in the moment, we missed it. And when we missed that moment, we actually missed an opportunity that probably could have been beneficial, not just from a monetary perspective, but beneficial to, could be the future you, or beneficial to your legacy, just because you missed a moment. And it makes it, especially when you look at it like, you know what, I probably could have done something different, and you put yourself in that space and you're like, okay, I see you, I see what I could have done different. So now I'm going to be open enough to prepare myself, because if that moment happens again, I don't want to miss it. Peace. I appreciate you, Miss Queenie. She said your messages are simple yet and has large impact. My week has been amazing. I pray that the rest of your week be as amazing as the morning start for you. All right, so let's jump with it. So before we start, put the word moment inside the chat. I gotta get this water in. I had no water yesterday, like zero. I know it's wrong. I will accept that, but I had no water, like not even a bottle, not one bottle at all. Whether it's a small bottle or a large bottle, I had like no water. Like I was literally running on God's fumes from Monday. I'm surprised I ain't passed out. So all right, so let's go. The definition of moment says a cause or motive of action. A cause or motive of action. For those who may be new to the platform, or if you just like to hear me say it, those who may be new to the platform, you're going to get definitions, whether it's red over white or white over red. If I say red over white, pay attention to the words that are in red. If I say white over red, pay attention to the words that are in white. And give your perspective on the inversion of red or the inversion of white. This one, I think it can go both ways. We can flip it both ways. So if you see the word motive, then I want you to put why you see a moment as a motive and how does that correlate with you. Or if you see white over red, put how you see that as well and how does that correlate with the word moment to you. All right, so the inversion on this is white over red. To me, white over red, which is a cause of action. A cause of action. Have you ever been somewhere and you're in this moment, and I know I'm not the only one. You have you ever been to the gym? I'm sure at least somebody can say yes. You ever been to the gym and you see this older person on a treadmill just getting it, or whatever machine it is, just getting it, and you looking at it like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna let them outdo me. So in that moment that you looked at somebody else getting it or grinding, that gave you a new cause of action. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you acknowledge in that moment that you can do more, and that gave you a new cause to run harder or to run faster or to do more. So what is the cause that you missed out on that you have yet to take action with or by? The cause of action. A lot of times, again, we miss those moments because we're not paying attention either to ourselves in the moment, not paying attention to our thoughts in the moment, nor are we paying attention to the actions that probably could have been taken as a cause to make it better. And the second definition of moment, which I like this one really kind of hit home for me. The second definition is tendency or measure of tendency to produce motion, especially about a point or access. A tendency or a measure of tendency to produce motion, especially about a point or access. So the inversion on this is red over white, which is a measure of tendency to produce motion. So now let's look at the word tendency in here, because tendency is like a proneness to a particular type of thought or action, where you can say, you know, he or she have a tendency of being late, right? You're speaking to the tendency. And then when you're in that moment, because a lot of times we miss those moments because our tendency to be late, or our tendency to talk ourselves out of it, or our tendencies that does not produce motion to get you out of the bed or to get you to the place that you're going to because of your own selfish reason. Like, what if you produce positive tendency? Because if you look at it, like the word tendency can also be having or developing a purposeful trend. Like when you come into the room, you change the mood of the room, or you change the moment. Have you ever been around somebody that when they walks in the room, their energy just circulates and they begin to touch people, and the moment change, the moment they open their mouth and begin to be a blessing to everybody in the room. Like that's their measure of tendency to produce motion. And a lot of times we miss that. We miss that because like we didn't know what we were aiming for. We didn't know that our motives has to be pure in that moment. And when it's not pure in that moment, you miss the moment. But you don't have to. Check your motives at the door before you walk in. Check your tendencies before you even leave the house. Check your tendencies before you even begin to start that conversation. Check your motives before you even begin to formalize what you're going to say. Check it at the thought. Because remember, you have thoughts and then you have actions. The actions could be what you're doing or what you're saying. Check it at the thought process. Like, does my motives match what I want the outcome to be? Does my motives match the moment? If my motives don't match the moment, then I need to change the way I see it. I need to change the way my process of thought is taking place. Because there's some moments that you missed only because your motives wasn't pure. There were some moments that you missed, a lot of moments that you missed because the thing that you wanted, you allow somebody else to take that moment from you. You can't blame it on them forever. You had a piece in that. Maybe you aimed too low and you missed the mark because your motives wasn't in the right place. And only you know that. So now, moment. So as I was looking up moment, and I was like, what is a moment? Like, how long is a moment? And according to Wikipedia, it says a moment or momentum corresponded to 90 seconds. A moment or the momentum corresponds to 90 seconds. So now I have to ask you, what have you missed out on because you didn't pay attention to 90 seconds? Right? I'm just giving you definition and allowing that definition to create a reality. You can relate to 90 seconds, but what if you paid attention to the 90 seconds of the moment and you could have changed the outcome that your family could have been eating forever, or you could have changed the outcome that could have produced some sort of healing process because you didn't want to take the moment or take the 90 seconds to correspond with yourself. It's too easy to point fingers at everybody else, but can you point the finger at you to say, I missed that moment because I didn't sit myself down and breathe for 90 seconds before I said what I said? That's just 90 seconds. Just 90 seconds. Sometimes you can't get that 90 seconds back. Again, this is just definition. You can look this up yourself, but now can you look you up yourself and tell you yourself that I need to let me sit down for 90 seconds before I go and say something that I know I shouldn't say. Right? Let me sit down and write what I want to say for 90 seconds before I go out of this room and miss the mark because I missed the moment that I've needed to take for myself. Again, I'm just giving you definitions. You can look everything that I say up. A moment in the Wikipedia, it had momentum. How many of you have lost your momentum because you didn't correspond to your 90 seconds? Not my 90 seconds. I don't need you to correspond to my 90 seconds because it's mine. I possess those 90 seconds. I exercise my gift in my 90 seconds. I exercise my momentum where I am able to continue to do these things more often in my 90 seconds because I have to correspond to myself within my 90 seconds. Give yourself a 90-second rule before you approach a room that you know that you can possibly miss the moment because you missed the mark, because your motives wasn't in the right place. I'm stepping on somebody's toes today. I don't know who it is. I can be honest and say I didn't know what I was going to talk about today at all. But don't miss the moment because you missed the mark. Don't miss the moment because you don't want to correspond to yourself in 90 seconds, or you don't want to correspond to yourself for 90 seconds. Take that moment. The momentum is worth it. Check your motives at the thought, not at the action, because if you check your motives at the action, it's too late. It's too late. You've already done it. It's too late. You've already said it. It's too late because the perception that the receiver receives from the sender is already their reality. But if you were to correspond to yourself for 90 seconds, correspond to yourself in the moment, your moment, you could change the trajectory or change the momentum that you have. Just correspond to yourself for 90 seconds. But don't miss the moment. So we're going to take this deep dive and then we're going to close it out. So I'm going to tell you something, and you might have heard it before. Somebody might have told you this before. You may have told yourself this before, or maybe not. But you don't need to be perfect for the world, because the world's 90 seconds is not yours. You do not need to be perfect for the world, because the world's 90 seconds is not yours. The world's 90 seconds is everybody else's. Again, my 90 seconds is not yours, so I don't have to be perfect for you. Your 90 seconds is yours, so you don't have to be perfect for me. So you don't have to be perfect for the world. Don't miss the moment because you were trying to be perfect. Don't miss the moment because you were waiting for the perfect moment. The only thing that you need to be authentically perfect to you. That's it. The only thing you need to be is authentically perfect to you, and give yourself some grace. I know you may have some people that are achieving great things around you. Give yourself some grace. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to be perfect for anyone else. Just be authentically perfect for you. Because there will be days where you feel like everything is crashing around you, but stand firm on who you are and give yourself some grace. Again, because you're not perfect. But remember, the moment is perfect enough for you to learn who you are and just be you. Because behind every strong person, there is a moment. Behind every strong person, there is a moment that gave them no choice. I'm going to say that again. Behind every strong person, there was a moment that gave them no choice. Like, are you going to produce? What moment gave you no choice to produce? What moment gave you no choice to fight back? What moment gave you no choice to heal? What moment gave you no choice that I need to listen? Don't miss out on your moment because you didn't want to listen. Don't miss out on your moment because you didn't want to learn. Don't you know that who you become happens after the moment? Who you becomes happens after the moment. A lot of times we say iron sharpens iron. Then we miss the moment because we're trying to sharpen our iron up against wood. We're trying to compare ourselves to other people that probably have not gone through anything like you. Stop trying to sharpen yourself against wood and try to sharpen yourself against silver. It's not going to work. You got to sharpen yourself with iron. Sharpen yourself with the opportunity. Sharpen yourself with the experience. Sharpen yourself with the lessons. And I guarantee as the iron began to strengthen itself, the blessings come after it. The blessings is going to open up the gates because you may be able to turn that iron and create and form a key in order for you to open that door and walk clean through it because your motives are pure in nature and you refuse to miss that moment. So you sat down and corresponded with yourself for 90 seconds and you asked yourself, like, yo, you ready to go? I'm ready. Let's go. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to proceed? Are you ready to develop yourself? Are you ready to take yourself to that moment? Because there's nobody else that's responsible for you like you. There's nobody else that's going to put you in that place like you. I don't care what your mama said, your daddy said, your pastor said, your sister said, your brother said, your cousin said. It's your correspondence. It's your 90 seconds. Everybody else can only give you a recommendation, but what do you require? Because when you understand what you require, then you have the ability to acquire the things that you have set out for yourself because you met your requirements. We may miss a mark because we require certain things, but we'll never acquire it until we know who we are and what we have within ourselves. The acquisition is yours. But are you building yourself to the point to where you can go out and get it? All right, I think that's enough. Dr. Taylor, good morning. First time viewer. You needed to hear this. I appreciate you. Queenie says, go towards your path with your positive tendency. Yes, take your power within those 90 seconds. Take your power back. You can make your keys to success 100%. Like, what are you making with your iron? Iron doesn't always have to be a sword. It doesn't always have to be that ironclad and everybody talking about, ooh, iron sharpens iron, and you see swords sharpening each other. Like, I don't need a sword. I don't need that. Like, what if the iron that I need to make it into a candlestick holder so I can put candles in it so I can see my way through it? You can produce whatever you want to produce, but what does your mind say? What correspondence do you have with yourself before you begin to create? All right. I'm good. But hey, it's Mr. R2. I appreciate you. I'm here every morning, 7:30. Weekday, Monday through Friday. Here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. You can always go back and listen to this again after the live is complete. It gets downloaded and uploaded into a podcast distribution. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Just type in Consistency is Currency and you'll find the podcast. You can always go back and listen to this. But y'all be blessed. Mr. R2 here at your morning podcast of choice. Peace.